ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to a very special television review. I've been wanting to talk about this for quite some time because I'm just so excited because I really want to talk about it. This show was one of my favorites as a teenager. Okay, so when I heard months ago that this show Alias was coming to Disney Plus, my heart jumped for joy. My inner 13-year-old was like, oh my God, because my goodness, I'm going to give you guys a little history is that as a teenager, when I wasn't watching WWE SmackDown every Thursday or watching shows like Seinfeld or any Nickelodeon teen Nick bullshit, I was watching this or 24 with my dad and my brother, and we would just go, oh yeah, this is awesome. Man, this shows you my age. I mean, this show came out 20-something years ago, and all these years later, I would never see the day that this would be on a streaming service like Disney Plus. In the past, we probably might have found it on Amazon or Hulu, but now I'm really happy because I remember all the cool stuff, and of course, let me ask you guys this: is that did you know that, or in the history of television, have you ever heard of a show that actually went the distance to put out a series of books before the show ever hit the airways? That's crazy. Somewhere in my parents' house, I probably have the Alias Declassified, the official prequel for the show somewhere, because that way you're not going in blind because, or if you're trying to get used to the series, you want to be like, okay, so there's more to the character that Jennifer Garner plays. So which of course I know what you're all wondering, what's the plot of the show? What's it all about? For all you younger kids, all I'm just gonna say is it follows Jennifer Garner. She plays a college graduate. Well, not graduate. She's a college student who's trying to get into poli-sci and all this other cool stuff. So she gets recruited by a secret government organization called SD6. Not a real organization, folks. Just for the record. And essentially, she is given tasks and given missions to go on. Do for the good for your country kind of thing. But all of a sudden, she suddenly realizes that the guys that she's working for might not actually be the good guys. And it turns out there's a whole lot of cloak and dagger shit. So essentially, she becomes a double agent alongside her father, who she also didn't realize was a double agent, who also works for not just the CIA, but also SD6. So there's a whole lot of hush-hush things, a lot of double agent stuff. And you're like, oh my God, this is crazy. This is what made all of us just full on interested in the whole spy genre, of course, or made us to say, hey, this is what me and my brother would say. We're like, hey, have you ever thought about the day of doing something like that? And he's like, maybe. But of course, in hindsight, now let's see, my brother's work for the government. Technically, he's in the Navy, so he's there, folks. But as for me, who knows? I don't know. I just enjoyed the thrill of that. But anyway, but that's beside the point. The show is just cool. It's like a time capsule it's like something like, oh my God, this is what I'm used to. This is my teen years in a nutshell. It's like, oh yeah, look at all the fashion, look at the outdated technology and all this bullshit. I'm like, wow. I'm like, yeah, that was the one thing I think will probably turn some viewers off is like, looking at the dated technology. Like, oh my God, look at the cell phones they're using. They're not flip phones, they're not smartphones. Look at those computers that they're using. They're like the old back whatchamacallit ones. And you're like, yeah, I know that's what technology was in the early 2000s. It's like, come on, nothing was advanced yet, but it kind of gives a cool glimpse of what could have been years later, all this cool stuff. And yeah, I just really enjoy it. Another cool thing I think but drew us all to this show was, wow, eat your heart out, master of disguise, eat your heart out, Ethan Hunt. If you want to see a good disguise, Jennifer Garner really slips into that. When she goes undercover, it's like she puts on some pretty cool facade, putting on some kind of cocktail dress and a fake wig, or if she's got going to some kind of club or goth club or some kind of hangout. She goes the full extra mile to completely make her invisible to the point no one would suspect that one to be the spy kind of thing. It's like, wow, pretty cool stuff. But yeah. I'm telling you, it's really just a trip for me. Every time I watch an episode, it's like, my goodness, I forgot how cool this was. But it's also a trip seeing some familiar faces who would go on to have some big Hollywood careers, including Bradley Cooper. Yes, Bradley Cooper is on this show, like a young Will Tippin. Okay, that's the guy's name. Like he's on the show for like a good run, like three or four, like three no four, 3 or 4 seasons out of the 5 seasons that they produced. Man, I mean, I really enjoyed just seeing all this cool stuff. Seriously, the cast is just fantastic, and like you just can't just pull yourself away by saying, look at somewhere down the line, you're going to say, oh, yeah, she got her start. Everyone's going to say, Jennifer Garner, she got her start on a show called Alias. Everybody remember that? They'll be like, oh, I remember that. I was a teenager when that happened, or something like that. And, yeah, it's so cool. But yeah, not much else I can say, but there are great things about the show. But there is an overarching story plot that is introduced into the story, like 4 episodes in. I don't want to give much away, but you gotta give it a listen. This is what made us so intrigued in the first place. But the gist is, okay, now they're trying to find fiction and find artifacts that belong to I wouldn't say it's a philosopher, so quote unquote, by the name of Rambaldi. Which, by the way, he's a little bit of amalgamation of Galileo meets Nostradamus, if that makes sense. That's all I'm giving to you. Then you just have to watch it for yourself. You go down the rabbit hole quick. There's a whole lot of crap and unexpected twists coming that you would never ever expect to see, and that is the beauty of this show. Okay, between this and 24. Seriously, these are, if anybody can, no, seriously, I remember flip back and forth between watching those shows. If you remember back in that time, I think those were the two big hitters for those networks, where it was 24 for Fox or this for ABC, well, yeah, just think about that. It's like, this is the shows of that era. This really defined an era for anybody that grew up or teens in the 90s and into the early 2000s. This is something that I think everybody would go back and enjoy. Is that damn special to just look at and just say, look how far these people have come. I know things look dated, but just look at it and you just realize it's a good story. It's a damn shame that it only lasted 5 seasons. The last season, everyone says it's not that good, but I get it. To be fair, I know she didn't want to be long for the show. I know she wanted to move on. So, yeah. And also, coupled with the fact that unexpected time, she got pregnant. That's the reason why they ended the show. So, yeah. Yeah. I think maybe soon. I would have loved to see like an Alias reboot, maybe not a reboot, or like a continuation of the stories. Like, hey, what can we do now? Hey, it's Cindy Bristol. She's all grown up. She's got a daughter now. Like, I don't want to give much away, but all that's like good world building and a good mythos behind it. Just make you go, all right. Like, there's a formula there that I really think we should go back in time, bring it back to a modern day. Just say, hey, I bet we can do something with it. So, hey, studios out there, take note. If you want to do something new, hey, here's an idea for you. All right? But anyway, so, yeah, that's pretty much all I want to tell you guys. So, yeah, not much else I can say. Give the show a watch. It's on Disney Plus. So, yeah, overall, I'm going to give this show, let's see, this might be my personal bias. I'm giving this show an 8.5 out of 10 because it's almost near perfect. There are some spy cliches that you can hit into, or, but there is some cool things that I thought were reinvented that makes the show stand out from any other spy thriller show at the time, or any spy thriller show in general, not just Mission Impossible or 24. All right? That does for today. Let me know what you think. Thumbs up the video, subscribe to my channel, it's Teacher for some more awesome and exciting videos.